Hello, welcome to the Paul Chandler Show. I'm your host, Paul Chandler. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about EMM, also known as Evaluation and Management. Now, while true, upcoming on January 1st, 2021, how we do the overall leveling for EMM is completely changing. They'll still have the three different areas: history, exam, and MDM, or medical decision making. And even after we switch to the new format on January 1st, all these services up to and including December 31st this year, 2020, will still be under what at that point will be the old format. So today I'll be showing you what I call the EMM Grid. Because the thing is with EMM, true in today's world, a lot of providers, doctors and nurses, they have the EMR, the electronic medical record, code the level of EMM. They're typing in all the information and then the computer just spits out a code. However, though, oftentimes that code is not correct because remember, computers can data compute, but they can't think. So I'm going to be showing you a nice, awesome, easy EMM grid that you can copy down in your coding books or just put somewhere in your cubicle or on your desk to help you see the overall big picture of EMM, Evaluation and Management. For the EMM grid, EMM itself has three different components to it. It has the history, exam, and MDM. And think of this as a story. While we have the history, that's the past. Exam is the present, today, and then MDM is the future. So the history portion, this is when the provider, whether it be a doctor or a nurse, is asking you questions back and forth at the beginning of your visit. The exam is when the provider is actually looking over the patient and seeing any possible issues that the patient may have. And then MDM is the future, how they're going to treat the patient in the future. Do they need a type of surgical procedure or something simple as a prescription maybe? So while EMM itself has three different components, history has three components within that one section. History has the HPI, ROS, and PFSH. Why? Because we just freaking love acronyms in healthcare. So HPI, History of Present Illness. ROS, the Review of Systems, and PFSH, Past Family and Social History. Now, when we're choosing the level of EMM during coding and also during auditing, it's just a scoring factor. Each different item that the provider does, whether checking off boxes on the EMR or if they're also free dictating it, is just higher the score. The higher the score is in the more points, then the overall level of history that we have, and you combine it with a higher exam, higher MDM, then that will increase the level of EMM. Now, one thing to remember that as far as us, as in coders and auditors, it is not our job to decide what is medical necessity for the patient. That's the doctor's job. And simply put, with the documentation, some providers, they just go typey, clicky, and that's it. They're just really short. And some providers just go on and on and on, where you're reading it and it's like Gone with the Wind, the novel. And just so you know, that's a little over a 4-hour movie, so it's a lot of documentation. When we're coding EMM, it's not strictly the rule of more documentation, the higher the level. Quality comes in as a factor. Now on the EMM grid here, I'm going to be using red and green markers as well. So think of these as traffic lights. Green means you go, red means you stop, not like if you're from St. Louis like I am, where you actually let 2 or 3 more cars go through and then you stop. So green is go and red is stop. So what I mean by that is as far as the point system. So for example, HPI, History of Present Illness, that has a total of 8 different factors that we can look at. However, as far as the point system, once we get to 4 points, we stop counting. So when we're coding the HPI, it doesn't matter if we have 4, 5, 6, 7, or even 8, just like having 4. So that's how we'll be doing the color coding system. After the portions that were the amount of codes that we do is a factor of it, green will be the total amount that we can do. But then as far as coding purposes, red will be the number that we can stop, because a higher number than whatever the color red is does not impact the level of E&M. So HBIs have a total of 8 different factors. We can stop counting at 4. And then ROS, review of systems, has a total of 14 review of systems. However, we can stop counting at 10. Now, when we're coding E&M, the ROS, the review of systems, the biggest gap is 2 to 9. So once we get to the 10, though, we can stop counting. So it doesn't matter if the provider has, again, 10, 11, 12, 13, or 14, just like having 10 in there. And then last one, PFSH, past family social history. As far as the green is go and red is stop, we have a total of 3 that we can max out at. Past history, as in regard to the patient, and family history, and also social history of the patient. Now this one's a little bit different as far as the scoring. I'm using the good old fractions 3 over 2. And I do not mean, technically 3 over 2 is 1.5. What I mean though is 3 over 2, we stop counting at 3 if it's a new patient, and we stop counting at 2 if it's an established patient. So that's the breakdown then of the history. In HBI, history of present illness, we max out at 8, but we only count up to 4. ROS, review of systems, we max out at 14, but we can stop counting at 10. And then PFSH, past family social history, we max out at 3, but we have only 3 for a new patient or 2 for an established patient. Now then the exam portion, good thing about the exam, there's not 3 different subdomains that we have. So I'm doing parentheses, the exam only divides out if it's the 95 or 97 version of the exam. So that's how I differentiate on the EMM Grid, using the 95 or 97 guidelines for the exam. Now, MDM, medical decision making, this does have the individual breakdown as well. So we have 3 subdomains under MDM. First are the number of diagnosis or management options. So let's do pound symbol, or actually let me rephrase that. I'm born in 1980, so to me that's a pound symbol. You may know it as a hashtag if you've never heard of a pound symbol before. So I'm put down pound DX for diagnosis or hashtag, whichever you like to do. If you like to Snapchat and TikTok and all those other Instagram-y posty thingies, just hashtag it. So we have the number of diagnoses that the patient has, and then we have the amount and or complexity of data is the second column, and then the overall risk. Now for the MDMs, 2 out of the 3 are mattering of points. There are no maximums that you can get, but number of diagnosis and management options, we stop counting at 4. Amount and or complexity of data, those points, we stop at 4. And then the overall risk, that's not a point system in there. Now, at this point though, once we figure out the history exam and MDM, now we have to go breaking it down. So let's just say hypothetically, let's say that we have history is detailed and the exam portion is expanded problem focused. And let's say we have a moderate MDM. So then we have to figure out, is it what level of E&M? So now I'm going to show you right quick how to code it the easier way, choosing the level of E&M for office patient, for a new and established patient. And choosing the overall level, so on the left side, we'll code it as if it is a new patient, and then on the right side, an established patient. So the Paul Chandler Show way, how to do it, is start at the highest level of code and work your way down. Once one of those 3 variables between history exam and MDM doesn't match, then you have to downgrade the code. So for example, 99205 is the highest level for office new patient, requires a comprehensive history. Do we have that? Nope, I got a detailed, downgrade the code again. 99204, comprehensive history, didn't have it in level 5, not gonna have it in level 4. Downgrade the code again. 99203, detailed history, yep, we got that. Okay, we got the history component. Now go down to the exam. Do we have a detailed exam? No, we kind of got screwed. We got an expanded problem focused instead. So we have to downgrade the code again to a level 2. Try this out. 99202. Do we have an expanded problem focused history? We have a detailed, so we have better. You can always have what you need and better, just never worse. So we have the expanded problem focused history that we need because we can upgrade it based on the detailed. So then we check the exam out. Do we have an expanded problem focused exam? Well, yes, we do. And do we have a straightforward MDM? Yes, we do as well, because we have a moderate, so we have 2 levels up. So this would be a 99202 if it's an office new patient. And what really screws us over is that exam. If this exam was a detailed, then that could have been a 99203 instead. But that's what hurt us on the new patient side. On the established patient, you get what I call a freebie, where if one of those does not match, you can still just kind of freebie it out and then go to the next option. Now, just so you know, some insurance carriers, they have a certain policy that you can only freebie out the history or the exam. You have to keep the MDM. That's an insurance carrier policy, not a guideline by the CPT policy. So 99215, do I have a detailed history? We have that, but 99215 though needs a comprehensive. Okay, I'll freebie that one out. So then do I have a comprehensive exam? I'm way off. I have expanded column focused. So I don't get 2 freebies. Now I have to downgrade to a level 4. 99214, do I have a detailed history? Why, yes I do. Do I have a detailed exam? Nope, I have expanded column focused. That's okay though, I'll freebie it out. And then a 99214, do I have a moderate MDM? Why, yes I do. So based on freebieing out the exam portion, I have the history that I need for the detail and a moderate MDM that I need. That make the established patient side a 99214. So based on simple work here, this is how you use the EMM Grid to easily place coding EMM. Thank you for watching this episode of the Paul Chandler Show, and have an awesome rest of the day. If you like this video and want to see more, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's so easy. It's right there. The little button. Just push it. Subscribe. I got all night. Nothing else to do. Just subscribe.